Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. I'm here to propose my marketing plan for Beauty, the new startup fragrance company in Gainesville, Florida. As you all know, they're looking to launch within 3 months and to have a marketing plan that effectively advertises the new company. So, as an overview, to quickly go over what I'm going to be talking about today, first the goal, and that's to introduce beauty into the marketplace, like I just mentioned. The target audience for this product is females aged 18 to 34 with interest in entertainment, lifestyle, fashion, and travel. The budget for our project is $2 million for 2 months. So, just to do a broad overview of what my plan is for you guys, I'm going to go into detail later on, but out of all of the different options we have for advertising mediums, the 5 that I pick are digital video, digital out-of-home advertisement, print advertisement, social advertisement, and network television advertisements. So first, social. I think that social media has to be a part of our marketing and advertisement plan because first of all, it's only $100,000 a month, so it's relatively cheap compared to our other options. In addition, the KPIs are clicks, reaches, likes, shares, comments. It is so easy to track engagement and influence on social media, so that's why I think it is a very, very good option for what we're trying to do. And not only is that one reason why it's so great, but a lot of people in this age range, especially ages 18 to 24, are using a lot of social media platforms. As you can see on the slide there, they use YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp. I mean, people in this age range, in our target audience age range, are always using platforms like this. And one of the biggest things that I would take advantage of when we make this the advertising plan is to have an influencer. So what an influencer is either on mostly Instagram and YouTube. It's someone who is sent products, say for example fragrance products like Beauty, and they pretty much try it out, and if they like it, they actually post on their accounts and they're like, hey guys, I just got this new fragrance, really love it, check out their Instagram, here's where you can order. Sometimes they even have promotional deals, so you can have an influencer, if they endorse your product, you can have them offer to someone who's going to buy it, oh, get 15% off with my code. It's a really, really great idea, and it's this other counterpart to social media that would make it so effective for what we're trying to sell with Beauty. Not only because we can make it well-known within a few amount of months, but also it's relatively cheap. A lot of these websites really don't take a lot of startup or lead time to complete. So I think that social would be a great idea as one of the biggest and most influential parts of our marketing plan, and definitely to use the influencer trend and everything that it has to offer, because I know that especially girls 18 to 24, and even just in their working, just graduated college, they're working, they're in their 20s, they follow these people and they look to a lot of these people for lifestyle and fashion advice. So if someone really fashionable and who's an influencer in New York or LA is promoting Beauty, it's a great way for people to find out about the product quickly and effectively. So next, the next part of the plan is digital video. This is also only $100,000 a month, which is a great deal, and the KPIs for digital video include views and reach. The reason that this should be a part of the plan is because we can promote it on websites like Hulu, Amazon, YouTube, and a lot of these people in our age range are also using these streaming sites as their main way to watch videos. So I'm sure people my age and even a little bit older than me, we are turning away from television and going to these really easy streaming sites that we can binge watch our shows from morning till night. And there are short commercials, which is an upside to digital video. It's not as lengthy as commercial television, cable, or network would be, but it is a nice little 15 to 30 second ads. And also, these commercials could be based around and branded like our social media and like the other mediums that I'm going to list later in my video. So it's definitely good because we can reach those trendy fashion, very confident women. We can have a very confident woman in the campaign, and I think that people would really resonate with that. And especially if it's a new name, maybe they don't know much about it, they could definitely find out this way. So next, along the same lines as digital video is network television. Network television is a little bit more on the expensive side. It is $500,000 a month, but I think it will be very worth it for beauty. And because of the short amount of time that we have to get this message out, I think it definitely will do its job, because we can have it airing in major cities. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these people, especially ages 18 to 22, but once at that age of 22, once they graduate, all of these young girls and kids are moving to bigger cities because that's where the work is. They're moving to New York City or LA or Miami because that's just where the jobs are. So if we could have network television commercials air, we could have them air in these big cities like New York City, Miami, Chicago, Seattle, Nashville. And I think it's a great way to cover all our bases and to get the word out there. Of course, KPIs for network television include reach. We can see how many households and people we're reaching, and it's like a great way to elongate that version of a digital ad. So the digital ad on, say, Hulu could be just a little excerpt from the longer network television ad, and hopefully the branding would stay consistent enough that people would be able to easily recognize it. So next, print. Print, we could have one placement in a major magazine each month, and the cost for that is $50,000 per month. So since print is one of the most notable ways that fashion and fashion advice and lifestyle and food and healthy eating is portrayed, I think it's very important to have print advertising for beauty, since they are a fragrance company, and that very closely aligns with the fashionista world of these trendy young people. So with that, I think that we should purchase 4 one placement magazines each month. That way we don't have to put in the same magazine. We can kind of spread ourselves along all of the top magazines, which means we have that much more of a chance to get seen by everyone. So that having 4 placements would come out to $200,000 a month. And those top magazines could be Elle, Bazaar, Vogue, and Marie Claire. So I think that's a really great option for what we're doing here. And then next, digital out-of-home ads. There would be 10 placements of this each month that cost $100,000. So like I said, still relatively on the cheaper side. We could target the trendy, confident millennials. As you guys know, I'm sure you've seen digital out-of-home ads, either maybe like a digital billboard or even one of those nice little digital ads that are by the subway. It's a great way, especially in these pedestrian-heavy cities and even driving-heavy cities like LA, to have these digital advertisements so that people could be walking down the street, say in New York City, waiting for the subway, and they see one of these digital ads and it sparks their interest. So we would have one of those in New York City, say one of the ones like pictured on the slide, but in a more driving-heavy city like LA, we could have a digital out-of-home ad that's a billboard, which would be great for that city. So I think that digital out-of-home ads would be great in this sense, but we do need to cater it depending on the city, because obviously in New York and LA and say like big cities in Texas and Nashville and Miami's another big city, they're all very different and they are dictated by different lifestyles. But the great thing about that is that we can target those different lifestyles using these digital out-of-home ads. So finally, the campaign strategy behind all of these different mediums that I presented to you would be to target the trendy, college-aged, fashionista, people 18 to 23, we would definitely hone in on targeting through social media, because 18 to 21-year-old females are using those platforms the most notably Instagram and Snapchat, like I mentioned before. Going back to the influencer campaign, I think that would be great for every segment of social media, but especially YouTube and Instagram. Of course, our campaign would also be around targeting the work-centric, city living, powerhouse female, especially those ages 24 to 30, people, like I said, who just graduated and who are now working 50 or 60 hours a week, and, you know, they need some time to go back and treat themselves, and why not treat yourself with a very nice perfume that maybe it's not Versace, but it's equally as nice, and we want to get this very elegant air around it, but that it's affordable, so that someone in college can afford it. And even if you just graduated and you're in the working force, or you're in your 20s and you're still climbing in your career, it's a great perfume that you can actually afford. So going along with that same lines of our campaign strategy, it would definitely be to have it be like a Gucci or a Versace or a very expensive feel beauty fragrance, but The plot twist is that it's not. It's very affordable, but the commercials would definitely be, the print advertisements, it would be very, very along the same lines of Versace, except, hey, it's not Versace, it's beauty, and it's only this amount of money, and it's cheap, and it started in a small town in Gainesville, and it's all over the world now. So I think that growing the campaign strategy that way will be really, really effective for getting the word out about beauty. And with that, since the holiday season is coming up, I think that basing a lot of the campaigns in and out of the home will definitely help in getting the word out there, because holiday season, a lot more people are going into stores and shopping. So I think it's a really great idea and strategy behind all these different mediums. And I don't think that we're spreading ourselves too thin by having 5 different mediums. I think that given such the short amount of time and the budget, it's the best way to put a glance at our brand on as many different platforms as we can without overworking and overusing or not using correctly our resources. And then next on our PowerPoint, I just have a budget breakdown so you can see how much everything costs. As you can see, it adds up to $1 million per month. 2 months, that would be $2 million. And then next, I put together a little SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for beauty. Of course, the strengths include that there's no existing brand image and that we can build from the ground up in these campaigns, which is why I think it's so important to have 5 different mediums to put out this message, because there has been no prior exposure for the brand. Weaknesses, of course, include no prior exposure. It can be a good thing, but also a bad thing because it is a startup. There are a lot of established beauty brands out there that people know and trust. If they get Juicy Couture perfume every year, maybe they don't want anything new and they're stuck in their ways. But the great thing about the millennial age frame, especially the one in our target audience, is that they're not that brand loyal. There have been a lot of studies where kids that age, they don't stick to one brand and they're very open to trying new things. So I think that hopefully we can turn that weakness into a strength. Opportunities, of course, infiltrate and dominate certain mediums. We can definitely, by going into 5 different mediums, we can definitely find out which one of those works best for beauty right off the bat. So hey, maybe we have to cut back to only 3 mediums in the future, but going into all 5 and maybe even more will allow us to see where we can dominate, which is definitely a great opportunity for beauty to become number 1. And then, of course, threats, existing established perfumes, like I mentioned, these high-end perfumes that people really like, or even low-end perfumes that, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond, or Bed Bath & Body and get my spray. So definitely the other competition poses a lot of threats, but I think it's something that we can overcome if we infiltrate the advertising world right with beauty. And then, of course, pros and cons for each of the type of mediums. Some pros, all the options are fairly inexpensive, especially for the amount of tracking we can get from them. Especially stuff like pay-per-click options allows us to only pay when people actually click on something. This is especially notable for social media because, say there's a link, we only pay when someone actually clicks the link. So if it isn't getting hits, we don't have to pay for it. Along those same lines, all options are measurable. We get a return on investment for every single one, so we will know what's working and what's not. And then lastly, credibility. Television, print advertisements, digital advertisements. People are paying for this and it already has a sense of credibility around it, which will make our product seem that much more credible. And then some cons, channel surfing and skipping commercials. This is a common thing that people are doing. Either they can record TV shows prior, and then when they go back to watch it, they skip right through the commercials, or a lot of streaming sites like Netflix and even Hulu, although the commercials are short, very avoidable. It's easy to walk away, go to the bathroom, and then come back. People aren't always engaged also with that kind of stuff. You don't actually know if people are sitting there and watching it. And then creating commercials and magazine and digital ads will have a longer lead time, but that's definitely something that we can work with and overcome as a con. Well, thank you all so much for listening to my proposal today, and I look forward to making beauty number 1. Thanks.